Before we get started with the podcast, we want to give a quick shout out to Quench. Whether you're in the gym, at the rink, on the field, or just trying to get through a long day, Quench is the perfect drink to keep you hydrated without the extra junk.
Check out quenchhydration.ca and be sure to use our code 24pod for 15% off at checkout. That's 24pod for 15% off at checkout. Stay hydrated with Quench.
All right, welcome back. We got another episode of the 2-4 podcast. Not a ton of stuff to go over today. Just a couple conference championship games, and then we watched some UFC on Saturday night, so we'll go over a little bit of that just to add a little something to it. But we had two football games to go over.
Two great football games, as some might say.
Yeah, I would say one great football game and then one okay football game personally.
The first game was very boring for the most part.
Yeah, it was very boring. It also didn't help that the weather played a big impact as the game went on.
It did play a big impact. It was subpar conditions, but it was weather that both teams are
Should
familiar
be used
with.
to.
Yeah, it didn't necessarily affect the game that much.
No.
At least or benefit one team necessarily.
Yeah.
So I do like that it kept it fairly level in that sense.
Yeah. Drake May was awful.
Yeah.
I'll be the first one to say it. He was not good at all. He got outplayed by Jared Stidham, truthfully.
Yeah, he really
Stidham
did.
honestly did not play bad. Like, props to him for being in that situation. You haven't completed a pass all year, and you got to start the conference championship, and he gave his team a chance to win. I think it goes back to them not kicking that field goal and going for it on 4th and 1.
Yeah.
When you're playing a backup quarterback, you got to take your points, and if they take those points, we're probably looking at overtime, or who knows how the game unravels from there. But
yeah, it could have made a big difference. You can't really play the what if game at the end of the day, but
no. But at the same time, you can look back and say, okay, we lost by a field goal, and we had a chance to take a field goal, and we didn't, and we ended up turning the ball over. And I mean, like I said, if they go for that, the game's completely different. But
no, for sure.
Part of me is wondering if the Patriots aren't using Travion Henderson enough. When Ramondre Stevenson was injured, Travion stepped up. He was fantastic, had multiple great games, and they barely used him in the playoffs. And don't get me wrong, Ramondre Stevenson hasn't been bad, but when you have a game like that where your offense isn't really clicking, maybe switch it up a little bit, and they really didn't.
No,
Henderson's more explosive. He's a little more elusive, whereas Stevenson's he's a little more like he's obviously not Derrick Henry, but he's a Derrick Henry style where he's more going to try and run through you rather than try and evade you.
Yep.
And against the Broncos defense, that's not really the greatest play.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like obviously as much as the weather changed, the sort of mid-game adapting wasn't really strong.
Not at all, no.
Typically, you kind of make mid-game changes if your offense isn't really moving the ball well.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't necessarily seem to be the case, but
no.
I think you got to be a little bit alarmed. As much as you're going to the Super Bowl here, you haven't necessarily put together a good, complete game of football.
No, we have not played well all playoffs, but I actually kind of had that in here. There's two ways you can look at that. One way is, it's scary because you've had 3 games to figure it out and you haven't. So what convinces you're going to win the Super Bowl? However, the flip side is they got to the Super Bowl without playing well at all.
Yeah.
So what happens if they do figure it out and they've already won without having it figured out? And I mean, obviously they're going to have to figure it out to beat Seattle. But if they do play up to the standard they played in the regular season, it's back to that 50-50, like either team could win. But right now going to the Super Bowl, I don't know how anyone could confidently say New England is capable of beating Seattle the way they've been playing.
Yeah. They've played ugly games, and you could almost argue that the easier opponents or just the one-dimensional opponents have kind of really bailed them out.
Yeah.
The Chargers had no O-line, effectively no offense.
Yeah.
The Texans,
no offense.
Bad weather, not that that's an excuse, but CJ Stroud played horribly.
Horribly, yeah.
and then this game you are facing a backup quarterback.
Yeah, that's where again it's also like people are talking about the Patriots playoff run so far, kind of two sided. On one side, it's everyone's talking, oh, they had such an easy schedule, and then they got in the
Yeah,
playoffs and they played. Um, why am I blanking on the first opponent?
Chargers.
Yeah, my bad. They played the Chargers, terrible O line. They were able to get to Herbert, no problem. Oh, then CJ Stroud threw 4 picks, and then they're playing Jared Stidham.
Yeah,
Going into the playoffs, you can't plan for that. That's just stuff that happens.
you never plan for that.
And the other, obviously, the flip side is people are going, well, they beat three top five defenses to get to where they are.
No, that's very
Which
true too.
that part is the part where I'm like, okay, like yeah, they played a lot of tough defenses, and they're gonna have to play one more. And our defense has been able to hold off the other teams.
Yeah,
Um, and I mean, Seattle's just it. I can't even try and sit here and
yeah,
say I think New England can win. Yeah,
yeah,
obviously there's that chance they can,
yeah,
but Seattle's just been on a whole different level. Now we did see with the Rams that you can score against them.
yeah.
You can find plays. You can find guys downfield, but Drake May's definitely going to have to regroup, and he's going to have to play way better than he has in the playoffs to this point.
Yeah, I mean, two things I'll say is one, you're obviously going to be much more confident in Seattle because of how much more consistent they've been throughout the entire playoffs.
Yeah,
And then when you're taking a team that's already a slight underdog who's had a shaky playoffs, it makes them much tougher to take.
yeah,
And even when you put those two sides together, you don't really see that in Seattle. For the most part, in Seattle, you're just seeing they've won games because they've played good football.
yeah.
Uh, their defense, yeah, is scoreable. However,
It's also very good.
it's mainly been the Rams who've only it's really only been the
True,
Rams who've been
yeah,
able to score on them like that.
yeah,
So whether it's just kind of the Rams having their number as they're a divisional opponent, that could be a factor.
yeah.
But
Or it's long season breaking them down. The
yeah,
big thing is they capitalize on mistakes and they make sure they do. I mean, there was that one punt where,
yeah,
right,
that
the
was
Rams
really
guy
bad.
falls over,
That was very
barely
bad.
touches the ball, and they're right there to
Yeah,
pounce on it. They'll force fumbles. They hit you hard. They get their hands in on every ball.
yeah,
I mean, that's going to be the tough thing. But I guess getting back to the Patriots and Broncos game, um, it it was kind of fun. Like I love watching snow games, and
yeah.
that second half, as much as it was kind of boring, I swear there was like 3 missed kicks in that game.
There was missed kicks. Yeah,
And that's what kind of keeps it, entertaining is once you get that snow down on the ground, nothing is given. Throwing the ball
no,
is so much harder. Running
yeah.
the ball is harder.
Every,
Trying to get to open space, trying not to fumble, trying to make a kick of any kind
yeah,
of any distance. Like, right when you watch PAT, you're like, oh, like 95% chance they're gonna make it. When
yeah,
it's in the snow, that drops as you're watching. You're like,
yeah,
okay, they have a legitimate chance to miss this kick.
yeah, for sure. Everything offensively becomes much harder. Defensively still becomes harder because you obviously can't take full complete strides in the snow.
Yeah,
So when you're playing your coverage coming off the line, whatever,
you got to
uh,
play a lot more zone.
attacking the ball carrier, you're not gonna have necessarily like a first step advantage
Hmm.
or anything like that. So it is difficult on both sides, but
Hmm.
obviously offensively when you have to move the ball, it becomes a bigger struggle in the snow.
Yeah,
Obviously, the score somewhat reflected that because it was a very low
yeah,
scoring game before any of the weather,
yeah.
but it definitely does not help.
Yeah, and I will say the one thing as well about the Patriots is they've proven that they can win the low scoring games. If their defense can be as good against Seattle as it has been, then they can hold them a little lower.
Yeah.
And like I said, because they've been able to win those games, I like their chances a bit better. If it's a shootout, I do not like New England's chances. But I think if they can keep it, within a reasonable score like 21-17, 24-21, or any lower than that, I think
Yeah.
New England's got a fair chance. But as soon as any team is hitting 30, I don't like New England chances.
Yeah, I think uh, the Patriots are going to have to win a moderately low scoring game for a few reasons. I think as good as Drake May and the offense can be, I don't think they're necessarily going to be able to hang if it gets up to that kind of level.
Yeah.
I think they would need to win a lower scoring game because they need their defense to be intact.
Hmm.
And realistically, I think even if it becomes a shootout sort of game, you're only going to score so many on Seattle.
Yeah, and we
And
also won't
these are
have
the
Robert Spillane, which isn't ideal.
these are the kind of games that Seattle's been winning all year.
Yeah,
These high scoring shootout games, so they're very familiar in that. So I think they have a lot more just experience this season with that, so it becomes their advantage once it
yeah,
turns
and
into that kind of style of football.
yeah, and one guy that's gonna have to quietly figure it out is Bryce Baringer, the punter for the Patriots. If he
Yeah.
is gonna punt against Seattle the way he punted against Denver, we are screwed.
We were getting a good laugh out of it,
It was a
to
good
be
laugh,
honest,
but
but it is
I mean, we
frustrating.
were watching with our buddy Will, who's a Niners fan. So Judah and Will weren't really they didn't really care.
No,
But me sitting there, like, I couldn't even help but laugh. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me! It was like 3 or 4 punts in a row that were like max 33 yards, weren't getting anywhere down the field. Now, luckily, with the snow and Stidham, who he started to slow down in the second half, we
yeah,
were able to, hold them off. But if you do that against Seattle, you are asking for a world of hurt and
yeah,
plenty of points to be going up.
yeah, which is not really what you want, but
Mm-mm.
um, yeah, that game was kind of, it is what it is. I think there was a lot of confidence that the Patriots were going to win that game, and they
Yeah,
did. Even though I think a lot of people projected the Patriots to win by more,
100%. Yeah,
but regardless, you can't. At the end of the day, you still can't complain about that,
yeah.
about a win. Regardless, even if you win this game, ugly, so to say, the Super Bowl,
Hmm.
you still really can't complain, because
No,
at the end of, even even if you do complain, well, it's like it's pointless because the season's over. You're gonna have a different roster next year.
that
So
yeah, and with this game, it's like you can complain about not putting up points, but when it's a blizzard for a whole half of the
yeah,
game, I don't care if you're used to that or not. It doesn't make it easy to play in. It's
no,
very hard,
no,
and also when you're going up when it's two good defenses playing as well. Like it's not like it's these are two offensive juggernauts that didn't put up points. Like
yeah,
they're
exactly,
both decent offenses with
yeah,
really good defenses, and that's inevitably what's going to take over in a Blizzard game as well because we talked about how it's harder to throw the ball, so they're normally running it more or
yeah,
going with checkdowns,
yeah,
and team defensively the teams know that they're going to be showing maybe more blitzes or just pressing a little bit more to shorten those plays. It makes it really hard, but I will say like this the second half was more exciting to watch
yeah. I
as a
mean,
whole
yeah,
because of that. Like when you have the snow element in there, it makes every little play that much like more like just exciting.
it makes a 10
Like
yard
when you
run feel like a 50-yard run.
a 10 yard that and like when you see a guy snag a nice catch over the middle like with just his hands, not his body,
Yeah,
it makes it so much cooler to see because it's like from playing football at recess as a kid,
no,
like
damn well you're
those
not
are
holding on to that
those are
yourself.
so
Yeah,
hard, right?
yeah,
And so I think it makes it appreciate how good they are a little bit more. But they're just, yeah, it doesn't matter how the game goes. They're so exciting to watch.
yeah.
Do you have anything else on that game?
No, not really much else to say on that.
Yeah, I don't either. So we'll move into Seahawks Rams.
Before that, though, we got to pause. We got to give our buddy Tyson a
This
shout
is
out
all
here.
you.
We told him we would do this. We had a very interesting conversation in our group chat this morning. Um, he hit a milestone. I'm not going to say anything more on that. If you know, you know. If you don't, our DMs are open. His DMs are open. Don't expect us to share that though. But pretty funny stuff. He is in Mexico right now,
It was hilarious.
but an amazing conversation early this morning,
It was a
and
great thing to wake up to.
yeah, it was pretty good content.
It was
So
great content.
moving on from that, we can go into the
We'll go into
Seahawks Rams
Seahawks
game. We just
Rams.
had to give him his
Um,
moment of appreciation there.
yeah, I actually only caught the second half of this game, and it was some of the best football I watched in a long
Yeah,
time.
it was great
Like
stuff.
absolute cinema is
Yeah,
like the simplest way
yeah,
I can say it.
yeah. No, it
Um,
was great.
like, and I had a bet going as well. It was like super simple, like Seahawks money line, Devontae Adams like 15 plus yards. um, think it was three plus receptions for JSN, and then two plus touchdowns for Puka.
Okay.
And I'm looking at it,
Yeah.
and I'm like, okay, Puka's got his touchdown. I'm like, it's and I think at this point there was like 9 minutes left. I'm like, if Seattle can go get a touchdown, the Rams fight back, get Puka a touchdown, and obviously the game started dwindling down, and you're getting late in the game. 2.5 minutes left. Seahawks have the ball, and I'm sitting here thinking, there's no way this can hit anymore because if the Seahawks don't get a touchdown, the Rams get the ball, and they go get Puka his touchdown, they're probably doing that at the end of the game, and they're winning the game. So, but that was like I didn't really care about that bet, but it like for
Yeah.
me it made it even more exciting to watch because I'm
Yeah.
like what's gonna happen here? Like the Seahawks did a good job killing the clock. The Rams did a horrible job using their timeouts, in my opinion. Like they
Yeah.
were out of timeouts with like 2.5 minutes left.
Yeah. One of my notes was the third timeout they called was, I believe, with 3 minutes left. And
Yeah.
even Brady was saying, I don't necessarily know why you'd use this.
Hmm.
It's not necessarily a horrible timeout to take, but it doesn't really seem smart. And I was very confused watching that too.
Yeah.
I
When
didn't
it's your
think it was a good
last
time to
one, I
use it
think it. Yeah.
with your last one. With the
Exactly.
last one, second half timeouts are always very crucial to use and manage properly. I
Yeah.
don't know if that necessarily would have made a difference in the result of the game, but it plays a factor into how much pressure you put on Seattle then to move the
Exactly.
ball in those late game situations. So
Exactly. Like Seattle had no pressure. I mean, all they had to
yeah,
do was get it down to the 2 minute warning and then get that first down. That's
yeah,
all they needed.
yeah,
And obviously the Rams ended up getting the ball back there at the end. And I wish that Puka got out on that catch with like
just to
three,
set
four
something
seconds
up.
left. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. And because it was also a sick catch.
it was a sick
And in order
catch.
for him to get
Yeah,
out of bounds, he would have had to like roll over the defender to get out, which he
almost
almost
did.
did.
My initial reaction was that I thought he was out of bounds, but then
I
when
did too. Yeah.
they showed the replay, and I'm like, no, he's very clearly
Yeah.
in. But that
Um,
would have been cool to set up one last like around 50, 45, 50 yard Hail Mary
yeah.
pass when you have
Puka and Devontae
Puka and Devontae
Adams.
Adams. Like
I
you
mean,
got dudes,
Parkinson
you
even.
have dudes with good hands who can make something interesting there. And
Exactly.
when you have no say in the game, it could make it. It just makes it very entertaining.
Yeah. One thing I did want to talk about that I thought was controversial, and it goes back to actually the Bills game against the Broncos. How was that one Cooper Cup catch, rule catch?
That is that's been trending a little bit.
Yeah, like I'm sorry, if that's a catch, then that Bills play against the Broncos is a catch and not an
Yeah,
interception.
yeah.
Like
Bills fans
there's
aren't
been
very
like,
happy about it.
well, and there's been like four instances in the playoffs. There's the Bills catch, the Cup catch, and then there was two other plays where
Yeah,
people are comparing it to the Bills situation. And don't get me wrong, I get like heat of the moment, like you're trying to make the right call as a ref, but and I know I'm the Bills one was reviewed.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. The
I
Bills
don't
one
think
was reviewed.
the cup one was not reviewed.
No,
So
I'm pretty sure they were pissed that it wasn't reviewed.
yeah, and I just
But
I don't get how that's a catch. Like watching in real time, I'm like, oh, that's incompletion, and then I'm like, wait, how was it 1st and 10?
yeah,
Like he did
yeah.
not look even on TV. He did not look like he catch that ball at all. And
No, I think the big thing is that people necessarily don't care as much what the call is. They just want consistency on the calls.
exactly, yeah.
I mean, that's a big point for us with baseball, with strike
With
zones
strike
mainly.
zones, yeah.
Yeah,
I don't care
is
what it is, just keep it the same
yeah.
for
As
both
long
teams.
as you may be calling balls 2 inches off the plate a strike, but if you're gonna do it consistently, players are going to adapt to that, and it's not the end of the
Exactly.
world.
Exactly. It's when you see three pitches in the same spot and you're in a 2-1 count,
And you don't swing at either of those. You it
like
leaves you guessing way more than you should be.
exactly. And
Obviously,
that's what I
everyone's
hate more than anything
yeah,
as a hitter.
everyone's human, so like it's there's not a whole lot you can do in some scenarios,
Exactly. And I
but
mean strike zone's probably the most controversial thing in sports
yeah,
simply because
100%.
yeah, there's a guideline for it, but when the ball's moving 95 miles an hour and the umpire doesn't actually have any guidance when he's calling the strikes, like
Yeah,
he's just going off where he's hoping the ball crosses the plate, like yeah, it's
yeah,
hard.
especially when he doesn't know what pitch is coming.
Exactly.
But regardless of that, I think that yeah should have been reviewed. I think what yeah when you have that kind of I guess platform technology or whatever to be able to review that, You probably
Yeah,
should have won a closer one, especially in a very crucial game.
yeah, 100%.
But it is what it is. There's nothing you can do about it now, and
Yeah, obviously. And looking back, I think if anything, it should have been a fumble because
that's what
he
I thought it
honestly
was
had
originally.
possession and then he landed on the defender, and that's when the ball popped out.
Yeah,
In my opinion, I thought it was a fumble, but obviously it didn't end up going that way. But I also want to shout out Blake Corum from the Rams because he actually had a pretty good game, and
he's one of the more underrated running backs, I think.
that's why I kind of put in here in my notes. He honestly should get out of LA because he can be a starting running back on a lot of teams, probably. Like,
Probably.
honestly, I think he's better than Jalen Warren personally, and that's not a dig at the
You think?
Steelers. That's more of praising Corum.
Well, he's a starter on LA, is he not?
Corum?
Yeah.
No, Williams is.
Oh yeah. I
Um,
forgot. I completely. Yeah.
but like I think
Um.
he has the ability to be a starter on a
Yeah.
team, and he because he's small, he's agile, he's quick. Like he kind of reminds me of a obviously not nearly as good, but he reminds me of Jameer Gibbs a little bit.
Okay. Yeah. No. I wouldn't. Him and yeah Warren are very similar. I don't know if I'd say there's really one of them that's better than the other. I think
And there
I
might not be.
I
There,
think it mainly is in for certain aspects,
yeah,
but overall, I think they're too similar to necessarily see much of a difference. At least
that's fair.
for what I've seen. But I also don't necessarily think Warren is a set RB1. I think Warren works best in a tandem,
Yeah,
which was kind
yeah,
of proved this season, and
hmm
was even kind of proved with Najee when he was kind of 1B and Najee was 1A.
yeah,
But no, Corum's a very good running back. Uh, he does make a great RB2 there in
yeah,
LA,
yeah. It does. I think
but he definitely
honestly,
could go somewhere and be an RB1. I would think.
yeah, like one team I think could use him because their run game's not the greatest right now is Minnesota.
Yeah,
I mean, Aaron Jones isn't really that great anymore. Um, Jordan Mason, he's not bad, but he's not an RB1.
no,
Corum could go there, be an RB1, and hopefully open up Jefferson a bit more with McCarthy.
yeah,
Now, then again, I think McCarthy is a lost cause. I don't think he's ever going to be good, but
I think it's too young to tell that.
it,
This was his
which
first full season.
which I do agree with as well. But I think I don't get me wrong. I think he's going to be like a Bryce Young. Like he's going to be good. He's going to be serviceable, but I don't think he's going to be what the Vikings expected him to be. But like
Maybe not.
I've heard trade rumors of him, one defensive end and two first round picks going to Cincinnati for Burrow.
I did.
That
Yeah.
I would not do from Cincinnati.
No, I would not do that either. Burrow's a proven, established quarterback in this league,
Hmm.
and McCarthy is not.
Yeah,
And Burrow's
exactly.
proven that when he is healthy and has the right O line and at least some decent targets, that he, yeah, he can be very much elite.
Yeah.
But
Getting
I
back,
was
oh,
gonna say, yeah, I think Darnold played a good game.
both quarterbacks were fantastic. Honestly,
Yeah, for sure. I think there's still more pressure on Darnold to be playing good football.
yeah, because there's still that decent population out there that doesn't actually think he's good.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough. You could still argue it's a bit of a fluke year. I think you're running kind of low on that at this point of the year when he's still playing good football.
And for a second straight season
Yeah. So
with a different team.
I think that that kind of thought is definitely fading.
Hmm.
But yeah, he played good. Uh
Both
Stafford also had a very good game.
Stafford was fantastic,
Yeah.
and both of the team's top receivers had unbelievable games. And I thought there was a chance that one of them was going to get shut down. Puka, 9 receptions for 165 yards, and JSN, 10 receptions for 153 yards, and both of them had a touchdown. Um, and that's just what the good players do. They find a way
Yeah.
to get open. And these are two of arguably the
Two of
top
the best.
two of arguably a top three receivers in the game. The only other one I'd put up there with them right now probably is Jamar Chase. Like I was
Yeah.
kind of saying in the
I
car
mean,
with
I think if you give Jefferson one of these quarterbacks, he can put up these
so
numbers.
I was saying with Ricky in the car yesterday, I was like, I think there's a certain category at the top. It's like 1A, 1B, 1C. You have Nakua, JSN, and what did I just say? Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
And then you have 2A, 2B, 2C, in which you have Jefferson in there. you got St. Brown in there, and then someone else. I
Okay.
don't even really care. Maybe Malik Neighbor, a healthy Malik Neighbors.
Yeah.
Um, and then you have like there's probably a 3A, 3B, 3C where you probably have T Higgins in there. Um, you probably got
I think you.
DK,
I think you have George Pickens in there
and then or even
or Lamb.
Pickens and Lamb. Yeah. So, but I think right now the way they're playing all year and the way they continued into the playoffs, when you think teams would double them, which they were at
Yeah.
times. Puka and Jason both still got open. They both had touchdowns. They both had a ton of yards. And then Stafford did a great job using his other guys as well. 89 yards for Devontae Adams, 62 for Parkinson. Like I said about Blake Corum, he had less rushes for more yards than Kyron Williams in this game. And then on the Seattle side, Kenneth Walker had another good game, which people said he was going to have to do, especially with Charbonnet out. And Walker stepped up, had another touchdown. Um, Cooper Cup had another touchdown. He's had, he hasn't been the same since that really big year he had in LA,
Yeah.
but, he's playing a smaller role in Seattle and doing a good job doing so. They've got their deep threat in Shaheed, and then they've got their go to guy in JSN. They've got Bobo and Barner at tight end that have both been good. So I don't know. Just honestly, a fantastic football game to watch. And
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of either of these teams, and I loved watching it. And it sets up a Super Bowl rematch of Seattle, New England.
I think it's going to be very different this time. Not in the sense of
Yeah.
necessarily who wins the game. I just think the overall game is going to be a
Hmm.
much different style.
Yeah. And as much as I do think it's going to be very tough for New England, I still think we're all going to be shocked and it's going to come down to the wire because
I don't.
it's
I don't think
just
that's shocking necessarily.
no, but I think there's a lot of people out there who, especially with the way New England's played, they don't see them winning. And I mean, the spread's at -4.5. I think it's going to be like a 2-3 point game. Like I'd love to see a game where it's won with a 2 point
I
conversion or
was just going to
something.
say I would completely hammer that -4.5 right now.
I would not.
I would.
See,
Maybe I'm gonna.
the only reason I wouldn't is, we've said how, I was kind of saying this in the car with Ricky the other day. New England's defense has been so good. They're kind of due for a meh game, if anything. And then their offense has been so bad that they're kind of due for a good game. On the
Mm,
flip side, as much as Seattle's been very consistent, they've been so good, they're maybe due for the slightest step back in this game. If that stuff happens,
I don't. I don't think. I don't think Seattle's due for that. I think they're hot. They're rolling.
no, I know, but I'm saying they've been so good for such a long stretch of football. Eventually, there's a time you're going to have that lackluster game. I'm not saying that's going to happen.
Maybe, but not when you're hot
I'm
in
not. I'm not saying
playoffs.
that's going to happen. But all I'm saying is I think they are going to get shut down a bit by New England's defense. If Spillane is healthy, if Spillane's not healthy, then we're in trouble because Landry was also out. Those are arguably our two top linebackers that wouldn't be available. Then we're in a lot of trouble. But I do think um, it's going to be a little bit tighter than people think because I think New England's defense will just kind of hold them a little bit. I think it's a quiet first half, and then the second half explodes.
Yeah.
They get a little hype from Bad Bunny.
Well, no one's getting hyped by that dude.
I mean, I do.
Yeah, coming out wearing a dress.
Is he wearing a dress?
That's what Ian was saying.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Take it with a grain of salt.
If he does, I'll probably be turning that off. Like I'm not going for that.
But you're gonna be watching it with all of us. We ain't turning it off. I'm listening to Bad Bunny.
I'll be on my phone then.
Yeah, you're always on your phone, anyways.
But I also don't really care to be watching Green Day at the pregame.
Green Day's doing a pregame.
Yeah,
All right then. Yeah, I won't be watching that either.
yeah. No, I don't care for any of that stuff.
No.
Anyways, I'd someone say we're getting a little too political here, but um, yeah. I mean, we don't got to dig into the Super Bowl right now. We have all next week to
Yeah, we'll
preview
do a
that.
big preview next week.
So
I'm
I
just
mean,
looking at the injuries right now.
in some NFL news, we have Dable.
Yeah, so Brian Dable, offensive coordinator in Tennessee, and then Joe Brady gets promoted to head coach in
Yes, that was
Buffalo.
the one.
And
I don't really like that.
I just it goes back to what I said on. I don't think it was the last football podcast. It might have been the one before that. Whichever time we were talking about the McDermott firing, it makes no sense to fire a coach when there's no better option available. And they clearly realized after they fired McDermott, the
Yeah,
only thing they had going for them was, okay, let's promote someone from the inside who knows our culture and everything like that.
that
Um,
part I understand.
like I get that part, but in my opinion, it just shows that they clearly
Yeah,
realized, oh damn, there's nobody better, and we
yeah,
can't bring him back.
yeah. That's true.
Let's just go to our last resort and bring
Yeah,
someone from inside.
I mean, it's still very early in the off season,
Yeah.
and I think the three biggest teams with head coach openings, all three of them have dropped the ball for the most part.
Who are the other ones again?
You have the Steelers who took Mike McCarthy. I
Yeah.
think that's a dropped ball.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I think Buffalo. That's the second or
Yeah.
one of the three biggest openings,
Mm-hmm.
and then Baltimore.
And you know who would have been low key a good fit for Baltimore?
Who
I think McDermott would have been.
maybe?
And the reason I say that is he's comfortable with the play style of the quarterback. He Allen and Lamar are similar. They're not the same. Allen's obviously way better throwing the ball, but they both like to do a mix of throwing and running the ball. So I think there would be a level of comfort there working with Lamar. I'm not saying it would have worked out great, but I'm
Yeah,
saying there is kind of that similarity there. But
yeah,
I see you pulled it up. Jesse Minter.
yeah.
Where's he from?
I don't know. I'm get based off this photo. It's the Chargers.
Yeah, let's search that up.
Well,
Uncultured podcasting.
yeah, yeah. I don't. He,
Jesse Minter's previous coaching job was defensive coordinator and safeties coach for Vanderbilt during 2021. Oh, he came from Michigan.
yeah.
Oh, and the Chargers, I guess. So yeah, I guess you're right. The last
He
team he
was the
worked for was
Chargers
the
defensive
Chargers.
coordinator.
Going to
So
Baltimore.
I don't know.
I
Both.
mean, their defense was shit
I
this
do
year.
think all three of these teams are taking very big risk on who they've brought in. I think
They're looking for big changes.
based
It feels like.
based off of I guess track record and expected sort of Pittsburgh has the best option with that because Mike McCarthy has proven to be able to coach in the NFL.
Yeah.
He hasn't necessarily been elite. He has actually somewhat scary similar numbers to Tomlin,
Mm-hmm.
which isn't really what Pittsburgh wants.
No.
But I don't know. I think this it's been a really weird offseason so far with all these head coaches coming in, and I just I don't know. A lot of teams are definitely taking big gambles
Yeah.
on things, but we'll see how it plays out.
It really makes me wonder where McDermott might go now. Do you think he
Yeah.
goes to the Raiders?
I just think it would be very tough to go from a team like Buffalo down to the Raiders.
100%. But if you're the Raiders, you better
Maybe.
try and get all over that.
Yeah.
I mean, they need to switch something out there.
But
I don't know because I know that it was released when Dable signed with Tennessee that he did have an offer for a head coach from the Raiders and
yes.
did not take it.
Yep.
So, I mean, I don't think Dable would have been a good fit there, anyways. I think they need to get a head coach in that's young enough that can be there for an extended period of time to build a culture
Yeah.
there.
And who's able to kind of I guess build up that culture and
Yeah,
is able to create his almost his own sort of team in a sense of being
yeah,
able to take guys from the start of their careers and coach them up the way he wants in a way
yeah.
that's ideally
Well,
successful
and,
for
and
them.
that is why I think McDermott would be a good fit. Is because of the
Yeah,
age.
I could see that.
Um, I also who else is really available right now for coaching?
I don't know,
I,
but
I think McDermott's one of the only ones really right now.
in other funny news, Arthur Smith going to Ohio State. I mean,
they're screwed.
goodbye to
They're
your
so
Jeremiah Smith.
screwed.
Hit the portal
They're
because you're not
so
going to see the
screwed.
ball. But
No.
I think Ohio State's like you got to be selling all your say in stock right now.
Yeah.
You have to be. Jeremiah Smith, he's proven enough, so his stock isn't going to go down.
No.
But
No.
uh, I'm not even an Ohio State fan necessarily, but I'm very concerned
No.
about how their
I mean,
offense is
I'm a
going to be.
Michigan fan, so I'm happy about it.
Yeah, I'm very concerned for what Ohio State's offense is going to look like. I don't know. Maybe he excels a lot more in the college game with it. Maybe
Maybe.
just there's less pressure on him, but I don't think there really
I mean,
is.
I wouldn't be surprised if their head coach kind of takes over a little bit as the year goes on if he's
Yeah,
doing that bad.
I don't know. I haven't been a fan of Arthur Smith. I don't think he calls good games for the most part.
How long was he in Pittsburgh?
But 3 years, I want to say. But yeah, is what it is on that. Not my problem.
No.
But I saw Stephen A. Smith. He made a very good point on ESPN First Take, and he said that he thought Ryan Clark should have got an interview in Pittsburgh.
Who's that?
You don't know who Ryan Clark is.
No, sir.
That's our first problem here. Ryan Clark, I will show you a photo of him. He used to play for the Steelers. He
Okay.
played under Tomlin, one of the
Okay.
hardest hitting safeties.
Ooh.
Um, yeah, you've probably seen him on your TV before
Yeah,
without even
yeah.
noticing. He really is just an analyst now,
Okay.
but he was
Just former player for the Steelers under Tomlin would have made sense.
yeah. I thought it could have potentially been a good fit, or yeah, I think he could have deserved at least an interview. Is what it is. They fired their guy, so
Yeah.
I mean, but
It,
I think you made a good
again,
point.
like I'll just go back to it looks like a lot of these big teams are looking for either complete flips
Yeah,
or culture changes or something because
yeah,
I mean, the Bills getting rid of McDermott, we said doesn't really make sense. Bringing in
yeah.
McCarthy to replace Tomlin, horrible choice in my opinion. Um, Tennessee's making some good moves. Um, like it does seem like teams are
Yeah,
Harbaugh out of Baltimore, right? It seems like
yeah.
teams are just trying to get different. Um, you know, try like the
Very
J
much getting different looks in there.
yeah, it's like the Jays. They brought him Montoyo. He was a different look. He wasn't as hard,
Yeah,
and it didn't work out at all. They bring
yeah,
up John Schneider, who is kind of that player's manager, but as he's been there, he's built a culture where, hey, yeah, I'm here for you guys, but if you're slacking off, you're gonna know it, and I'm not gonna be happy. And
yeah,
it's built a really good culture
yeah,
there. And sometimes it does take time. Like it wouldn't shock me with the Steelers if
yeah,
McCarthy doesn't work out, and they bring in another guy, and he figures it out. It'll
yeah,
be interesting to watch them next year because we're used to them being this 9-8, 10-7, eight and
yeah,
nine,
yeah.
that area kind of team.
Slightly above 500 team.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see if McCarthy's going to be super bad or if he's maybe going to somehow get them to that next level they haven't been able to reach for a little bit.
Another thing regarding the Steelers that me and my buddy were talking about. I got two more things. One, another person I want to see enter the coaching scene very soon would be Big Ben. I
Yeah.
want him to
Yeah.
start with the quarterbacks.
Yeah.
If it goes well, move up to working with the offense as a whole, whether
I could
that's
even see him
an
starting
offensive
with an
role
offense,
or
honestly.
an offensive coordinator. After that, if it's still going well, I would love to see him be able to become a head coach.
Yeah.
I think he very much has the football IQ to at least be working with quarterbacks and
Yeah.
offenses specifically. Um, I don't know how open he is to that, obviously.
Yeah. That's the other thing.
Based off what I've heard on his podcast, I think there is a bit of interest there.
Okay.
So that's something
Do
I
you,
would like to see, especially still while he is somewhat young.
do you think one thing that will hold him back do you think he would only do that with the Steelers, or do you think he would do it with other organizations?
No, I think he's pretty set on Pittsburgh.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
which could be a little more difficult depending on when positions open. But he
yeah.
should be the first guy they call.
Even just to be a quarterbacks coach,
That's what I mean. Yeah,
like especially, I think now's the time to do it too. And this kind of goes into my other point is that you have a second year player, Will Howard,
yeah,
who also is a very similar build and a very similar game style to Big Ben.
yeah.
Very similar. Two big framed guys, not necessarily super mobile, but
Hmm.
still good improvisers. But for
Yeah.
the most part, mainly a strong pocket passer. But another thing I was going to say is that I think Howard should probably be the starter next year.
I think they got to give him a shot.
I
Yeah,
think you either find, I think you can get a good view on whether he's going to be the guy or he's going to be so bad that he's going to get you the guy, meaning
yeah,
a good draft pick.
yeah.
So,
I think that's worth the risk. I mean, you guys have made the playoffs for
yeah,
such a long stretch of time. Eventually, that's got to end.
yeah.
And I mean,
No,
the cliche.
no, no, no. We've missed the playoffs in
Have
the
you?
last few years. Yeah.
I thought you guys had made the playoffs for like a crazy stretch, but still,
No.
the cliche saying sometimes you got to go back to go forwards, and
Yeah.
like you said, Howard will step in, and maybe he's so good that he gets you to the playoffs, or he's so
Yeah.
bad that he gets you that good draft pick.
Yeah.
Honestly, if you're that bad, maybe you get Dante Moore if he declares for the draft,
Yeah, I mean,
and you
well, he
end
will
up
be
taking
going
a
to the
second.
draft,
Well, yeah, obviously assuming, but
but
um,
yeah, no, I think he's
I think
either
it's worth the
got to
risk.
be the guy or get you the guy, and
Yeah.
I don't think getting you to the playoffs is enough. I think he's got like you got to win at least one game
Oh yeah.
for it to be worth it. If you end up in the same spot, it doesn't
Yeah.
really do
Well,
anything.
it's like the Leafs this year. It's like
Yeah,
right now the way it feels, if they don't make any moves, if they get to the playoffs, they're probably not getting anywhere.
yeah,
And then Boston gets their draft pick. And then if they're not gonna make the playoffs, you better sell and you better play like crap going down the stretch
yep,
because you better get a top five pick or you're not getting your first round pick back. So it's like
yeah,
it's that same kind of tricky situation where like you better figure it out what you're doing and you
yep,
better figure it out fast. Like same for Pittsburgh, right? Like you better figure it out before free agency, before you think to sign a quarterback. You
yeah,
better know what you're doing with Will Howard.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, because he has no trade value right now because he's hasn't played.
exactly.
So
So you
yeah,
got to give him
you
you
do
got to
got to
give him a
figure it out
chance at some point.
exactly.
All
Well,
right, I
yeah,
think we can move into a bit of. We'll go into some UFC stuff
just
just
a
for
little
fun.
bit, and we'll wrap up.
Just to add a little bit of time here because it is a bit of a short pod.
Yeah,
And we watched it on Saturday, so why not?
yeah, we could work through the a bit of the card, some of the fights.
I think we'll go through.
We'll start with the Nurmagomedov fight. Actually, no, we didn't really watch that. We were in the
No, it
car,
didn't.
so we will go up to Silva versus Anderson.
Yeah,
We
so
watched that one,
we'll go
or
Silva Allen,
Allen. My
we'll
bad.
go Acosta Lewis, Yadong O'Malley, and then Gaethje Pimblett. So we'll
Yeah,
start at Allen Silva. I wasn't paying as much attention to this one as
and
I was the other ones.
yeah,
Um, but Allen was. I did notice that Allen was just kind of like timid the whole fight. Like he seemed like Silva was just being the aggressor the entire time. Um, he was way more aggressive. Allen was kind of just waiting for his shot, and he never got it.
yeah,
And I mean, Silva won by unanimous decision. I mean, it was. I mean, that pretty much says it right there. Um,
yeah. No,
I thought it was Silva the whole time.
yeah, yeah. He pretty much controlled the fight from the start. When you have 3 rounds, you can't really wait for your shot. You have to go force it if you're not really seeing anything there.
Yeah,
But yeah, it wasn't. I think that was your pretty standard sort of fight for the most part. It wasn't like the most boring thing ever. It wasn't the most entertaining thing ever. It was just kind of
yeah.
a fight.
And then there was Waldo Cortez Acosta and Derek Lewis,
This fight
and
kind of pissed me off, mainly because I had Derek Lewis in a free bet.
yeah.
So,
You know what Lewis's
but
part
that
of the fight kind of reminded
his
me of?
knockout was just
You know what he kind of reminded me of? Like it almost looked. He looked similar to Mike Tyson against Jake Paul in a sense that he just didn't look good at all. He looked slow. He looked sloppy.
no, I
But
don't really think that. I think that that's kind of his fighting style for the most part. I just think it was more a factor of Acosta being very young and just much quicker.
I was gonna
I don't
say
think
Acosta
Lewis
was good. Like he dodged a
yeah,
lot of big hits.
Lewis wasn't necessarily slow. He was a little bit, but I don't think that's what killed him. I think he just yeah, was sort of like clumsy in a sense.
That's
Yeah,
the perfect word.
I
Yeah,
think he
like
was
kind of
just
slipping
sort of
around.
clumsy
Like
and it just
he was kind
killed
of
him.
just throwing punches. He wasn't trying to
Yeah,
hit punches. He was just like,
yeah,
oh, I'm gonna eat. Oh, I can't see you,
yeah,
but I'm gonna try and hammer you. And Acosta
yeah.
was. I mean, credit to him. He was reading them really well, getting out of the way,
Yep.
and then he
Yeah.
got the KO.
It was a
So
it was one of the least entertaining knockouts I've ever seen. Just because he slipped and then it was just
yeah,
kind of that
and he wasn't
from
even
there.
really knocked out. I mean, he was
No,
still
not
he
really.
was still
But
conscious. Like when
yeah,
I think of knockout, I'm like
no, that's true.
punch here and you're
Yeah,
falling on your back and your
yeah,
eyes are closed. Like he was just kind of like probably non-responsive.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. No, it is what it was for
I
that.
mean
But
you guys also because I don't watch UFC all the time. You and Nash
yeah, I
or
definitely we
Ricky, I
watched it a
guess,
bit more.
you guys kind of pumped up Derek Lewis, and so that made it even more underwhelming for me.
True,
Um,
true.
and speaking of underwhelming, I also thought this fight was underwhelming as well. O'Malley and Yadong. I thought it was very entertaining in the sense that they're both super quick. Yadong
Yeah,
actually had a really good fight in my opinion. I thought
he did.
he was like he should have been really close to winning. Um, O'Malley wasn't really that great. He really just got like two or three decent shots per round that helped him. Yadong kind of
Yeah,
played the long game, and again, like you said, in a 3 round fight, you kind of have to go a little bit harder, a little bit more aggressive. go for that big hit every now and again.
Well, I think Hidong was doing that. I think just O'Malley plays great defense,
Which,
and
yeah, that's fair.
O'Malley really seemed to only be taking what was given to him. He
He
wasn't
did,
really
yeah,
going out of
yeah.
his way to play offense for the
Okay,
most part.
yeah, that's fair.
I think he was. I think O'Malley also sort of knows that yeah, if he plays that good defense, takes takes the opportunities that are given to him, it'll be enough for him to win the fight.
Yeah.
If he doesn't necessarily feel like he's going to be able to knock him out,
Mm.
he got a few good shots off. He got that one knee off.
That
That was
that was a crazy
so
knee.
you
Yeah,
could see it.
the
You could
third
see
the
Mally
third
get
round.
better as he went on for
Yeah,
sure.
the first round, I was like, wow, Yadong's gonna win this fight.
Yeah,
Second round was like, okay, O'Malley was a bit better, and then third round,
yeah,
O'Malley. I mean, he got him bleeding. He got that crazy knee off,
yeah.
which I'm actually surprised it didn't knock him out with that. Like he caught him
It's tough.
square, like
Yeah,
chin up into the mouth guard.
yeah,
Um, and I mean that was a sick knee. I'll be the
yeah,
first to say it. That knee was pretty sick from O'Malley.
yeah. No,
Um,
I think that fight kind of showed why O'Malley is a championship fighter because he showed that he can get better throughout the rounds. I
yeah,
think it showed that he's used to being able to fight 5 rounds
yeah,
for sure,
yeah.
and Yadong's not because he did somewhat gas out early a bit.
Yeah, he started to get honestly, and obviously, I'm not saying it had anything to do with it. Once O'Malley was starting to get his punches off, and once it was just kind of coincidence. Once the blood started to come out, that's when I noticed Yadong was really slowing down,
Yeah,
and I'm assuming that's because obviously the blood started from a big shot that you
yeah,
like one of those big shots that you don't really catch when you're watching it live and you see it in slow mo after.
yeah,
Um, but I will give Yadong credit. I think
yeah,
he is like one step away from being a championship fighter as well.
yeah, for sure.
Like he that fight was it was a really good meet like the way I thought of it as someone that doesn't watch a ton of UFC, it was a really good fight that wasn't like equal to the Pimblett Gaethje fight, right? Like it was a
Yeah,
little boring at times, but then it finished strong. It's
yeah,
like watching a boring football game, and then the fourth quarter's back and forth
yeah,
touchdowns, right?
exactly.
So yeah, I thought it was really entertaining,
Yeah, I
and
mean,
then a good fight for both of them, really.
obviously, each fighter trains differently for a 3 round fight, for a 5 round fight.
Yeah,
But I think based off how that fight was going, I don't think Yadong would have made it through to the end of the fight if it was a 5 round fight. I think O'Malley
yeah,
would have eventually knocked him out.
yeah. I
But
mean, Yadong, he was good on takedowns. But if you look at their strikes,
O'Malley's not really much of a takedown guy, though.
no. I'm just saying Yadong was doing good. First round, their strikes 69% for O'Malley, 23, 62% for Yadong. Second round, Yadong 34 strikes, 64%. O'Malley only 20 strikes, but still 61%. And then the fourth round completely switch, and this is where you talk about O'Malley's
Fourth round.
defense. Pardon me, third round. O'Malley
Yeah.
25 strikes, 54%. Yadong 12 strikes and only landed 30% of his strikes. Now, all 12 were considered significant strikes,
Yeah.
but also all 25 of O'Malley's were considered significant. So that third round, I think they were both getting gas, but O'Malley was able to linger, or pardon me, to last
Yeah.
just a little bit longer. And um, he did. O'Malley did a good job, kind of targeting. Um, I think I'm assuming this is where he targeted him. He kind of targeted Yadong everywhere, whereas Yadong was just going legs and head, and O'Malley did a good job
Yeah.
reading that.
Yudong was very legs.
Yeah.
But no, that was also a decent fight. It'll be interesting to see who O'Malley gets next and if
Hmm.
it's a belt or not. I don't follow enough to know all that, but
Yeah.
uh, yeah, it was a good fight. And then the Gaethje Pimblett fight, that was one of the best
Oh,
fights I've ever
that
watched.
was fantastic. And I mean, I'll say it after that fight. Like, I'm if I had to pick favorite fighter, it'd probably be Paddy Pimblett, simply because of how he hung in there. I
Dude's
mean,
tough.
there was like four times I thought he was going to be KO'd, and
Yep,
one of them was in the first round, and
yep,
he made it through the whole fight.
yeah.
And
No, I remember us being watching this fight and going like, dude looks like he might go down, and
hmm
then there'd be like a minute or so of just not a whole lot being thrown, and then it would look like he got all of his energy back.
yeah,
I think for the most part, what kept Pimblett in it was uh, besides his like toughness, more or less, was the fact that he was still throwing punches
Yeah.
even while he was phased, and I think that just kept Gaethje off his toes enough to hold him off.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I think being able to swing back was a really big difference.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a great fight. Gaethje ultimately deserved that
Yeah, I
belt,
mean,
so
if you look at Gaethje,
he's still an elite
he
fighter.
so he threw 144 strikes, 120 to the head,
Yeah,
whereas Pimblett was 53% to the head, 31% to the mid body, and then 16% to the legs. And we were saying that during the fight as well. Gaethje was it was so obvious he was going straight for the head of Patty, and you could see that in Patty's face. Obviously, he was
yeah.
gashed up pretty good. But I also do want to say in his defense, Patty arguably should have won that fight by disqualification two separate times. So
Gaethje did fight a bit
he
dirty.
gets poked in the eye the first time, and Gaethje got his warning.
Yeah,
And then, like if you were watching the fight, you probably noticed Patty bleeding from above his eye and a nasty cut. That's because Gaethje again kind of poked him just above the eye, and his nail actually cut his eyelid, which arguably should have been another warning or disqualification or
yeah,
whatever. And then Patty gets called for a knee below the belt, and Gaethje does the same thing, just slightly off center, and they
yeah,
don't call it. So um, definitely tough for Patty in that sense. But he hung in there like a warrior,
yeah.
and
There was some officiating that I guess was a bit tougher to call. It
yeah,
was a tougher fight to officiate. You don't typically see that,
no,
but yeah, there was a few moments where yeah, that something could have been called or whatever. But I
hmm
also think that goes to Patty's toughness that he was
yeah,
able to fight through all that.
yeah. And Patty made good adjustments too. If we're looking at the strikes round by round. First round, so we'll start at the second round. 41% of his strikes were to the head. Third round, 51% to the head. Fourth round, 54% to the head. And in the fifth round, 81% of his strikes were to the head. So he was doing a good job making his adjustments as it goes to start targeting the head a little bit more. And
Yeah,
he was starting to realize that the long game going after the body and the legs just wasn't working in his favor, and he had to start getting to the head a little bit more. And he did.
yeah,
He did do a fantastic job. Um,
no, for
fighting, and
sure.
he made it to the end where even through 5 rounds, and as bad as Patty's face looked, there was no one saying, "Oh, it's Gaethje all the way." Like, yeah, most people thought it was going to be
Yeah,
Gaethje, but people were like, "Patty has a bit of a chance."
like we said, or I guess more I sort of said, but you agreed with was that if it was unanimous, it was obviously Gaethje. If it was
Yeah,
split, Patty had a chance.
yeah,
But that was one of the better events that we'll see. We'll look at next week because it's back to back weeks with an
yep.
event
So we'll just look at the
starting.
main card here, or
The bottom fight, I don't know. Tai Tuivasa, I know him. Heavyweight fight. Um, Not very high ranked guys, but
hmm they look like
probably will.
units though.
Yeah, it'll be entertaining. It's always fun to watch two heavyweights just slug
Yeah,
it out.
I you know what? Whether we're doing
And
predictions or not, I'm going to take Taliesin Teixeira to win.
I'll take Tuivasa.
Okay.
Um,
Um,
and then the next fight, Fiziev.
Fiziev
Yeah,
and Ruffy.
and I believe Fiziev. I think that's how you say his name. He had a big fight not that long ago, and I think he didn't lose by much. I'm not sure on that,
Okay.
so I would take him to win,
Yeah, he
and I will.
also, I mean, just look, obviously, like I said, I don't
Yeah,
really know UFC. I'm kind of going off the pictures here. I would rather fight Ruffy than Fiziev looking at these pictures, so I'll take Fiziev to win now on.
you know what? I like that. And then we got Dan
Dan
Hooker,
Hooker and Benoit
Benoit Saint
Saint
Denis.
Denis.
Uh,
Frenchies can't fight, so I'll give you Dan Hooker.
okay. Uh, I would imagine it'll be pretty close.
Yeah, they
Um,
both look like they can fight pretty
I, th-
well.
I think
So
I think Hooker's gonna win, but I'll take Benoit
okay, and
just
then
to you know
we'll go to the top: Diego Lopez and
yeah.
Alexander Volkanovski, and
Volkan Lopez. This will be a really good
like
fight.
like
The
like
champ versus the number
for
two.
someone not knowing UFC, I've heard of Volkanovski's name, so I
Yeah,
know he's good,
yeah. This will
and
be.
obviously has a title right now.
I would imagine the odds will be somewhat tight on this. Um,
I'd have to think it's like a -110 to -105, honestly.
no, it'll be a bit further than
You
that.
think?
Yeah, but I absolutely hate Diego Lopez's hair.
Oh yeah,
So I really would like to see Volkanovski just mop the floor with him.
yeah. I want to see
And I
this.
do like Volk.
Yeah, I want to see this 5 rounds and then a KO in the fifth round.
Yeah,
Probably not
yeah,
going to happen, but that would be fun to see.
definitely could. But
Um,
Volk's a very good, proven fighter, so I think he will win this fight.
how long has he had the
It's in
belt?
Australia.
How long has he had the belt?
That's also not super long. I think he just won it back not too long ago. But
Okay, then I'm gonna take him to win and defend his belt then.
yeah, okay.
I was gonna
Uh,
say if he's had it for a while, I was gonna say maybe he finally loses it, but if he barely had it, then I mean I'm just gonna let him
okay.
keep it. Honestly, 13 wins. He's 27-4. 13 wins by knockout.
Yeah.
13 by submission. Lopez is
Okay. His most recent fight
27 and
was
7.
versus Lopez, and he
Was it?
won.
Okay. Volkanovski won.
Yeah, unanimously.
Okay. I
He
mean,
lost to Topuria the fight before. He got knocked out by Topuria. I remember that
yeah.
fight.
I mean,
He lost to Islam before.
definitely look like different fighters. In the sense, I mean, Lopez has more knockouts, more wins by submission,
Yeah.
and more first round finishes. But he's 27-7, and with the first round finishes, kind of makes me think that he doesn't do great as the rounds go on. Like as you get into the fourth and fifth rounds, it's probably when you get your chance to beat him. It looks like just from these couple stats that he probably comes out of the gate pretty hot. That's
Yeah.
just my guess, but
Yeah.
um,
No.
looks
Also,
like he just straight up targets the head as well, similar to Gaethje.
yeah. No, I will also say with this fight being in Australia, that
Volkanovski's
Volkanovski is
got
going
a
to win.
yeah.
I don't think he's going to lose on this home turf.
No, I would have to agree.
But that is all I have for today.
Yeah, that's all I have. Tried to make this one a little bit longer. We didn't have too much to talk about, but
It'll be just under an hour.
yeah. But Friday morning's pod is going to be
A lot of
exciting.
baseball.
We've got a lot of stuff going on with that one. We're going to do, since free agency is pretty much done, there's really just one big fish left to land in Framber Valdez.
Yep.
We're going to do our MLB standings predictions, and then we will also do our predictions for award winners, MVPs, Cy Young's, Rookie of the Years,
No
and
repeats.
what's that?
No repeats, right?
No, and no repeats. So
Yep.
if you think we're not picking Scooble, we're not picking Skeens. We're trying to pick guys that are that didn't win last year, just to make it more interesting. And then we'll have an honorable mention for each one, kind of like a 1A, 1B kind of thing. We'll go over the standings in the NHL. We'll give two teams that at the moment should buy, and two teams that should sell by the time we get to the deadline. And then we will go over a little bit of some Maple Leafs news as well. So that's going to be a fun episode. So make sure you tune in Friday morning for that. And that's all for me.
Yeah. No, that is all.
Mm,
Vlog will be out tomorrow night,
yes, it will. What?
or when you're listening to this tonight. Actually,
Yes,
Wednesday night,
around 6 p.m., 7 p.m.
something like that. It
All
will
right.
be out.
So stay tuned
We
for
will
that.
post. We'll post about that.
Wednesday evening vlog will be
Yep.
live from the PWHL game.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all for us. So
Yeah.
tune in for the vlog, and then tune in Friday morning for the next podcast.
Yes, sir.